Thank you for joining us for our Virtual Luminaria Ceremony as we continue with our Hope from Home event. We appreciate your support and commitment to the Simi-Moorpark Relay for Life of 2020. The Luminaria Ceremony is an opportunity for us to all come together and remember why we relay. This is a time for us to grieve for those we've lost to cancer. It's a time for us to reflect on how the disease has touched each of us personally, and an opportunity for us to look inside ourselves with quiet reflection to find hope. No matter what our experience with cancer has been, we all share the hope that we will, one day, live in a world where our children and their children will never have to hear the words, "You have cancer." Each Luminaria bag represents a treasured relationship. They represent people, each with a name and a story to tell. They are our mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, husbands, wives, friends, and other loved ones. We cherish these people, remember them, celebrate them, and fight back against this disease for them. As these luminaria glow through the night, they represent our shared vision for a cancer-free future.
Every candle has a name. We're like sailors in the night, being guided by a light, just a beacon on the shore, giving hope and strength and more. Walking through the sea of lights, I sense unity and might. The power of passion in this place, every memory has a face. These are loved ones we have known, some still here, but some are gone. In this time, in our own way, as the footsteps melt away, we see love in every flame, like a never-ending chain, and we know that every candle has a name. There's a name of the ones who still are here. There's a name of those gone we still hold dear. There's a name, each one shining in the flames, and we know that every candle has a name.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dina.
Hi, I'm Holly.
And we're Team Cancer Sucks. So, why don't you start us out with your dad, if you wouldn't mind?
Okay, so my story, getting started with Relay, was back in, well, it actually started in 2014 when my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And I was really close to my dad. You know, he was a single dad, just me and my sister. So it was pretty much just the three of us growing up. So we were really close. So it was pretty shocking to hear my dad's diagnosis. It was like everyone will probably understand, just very emotional. So many different emotions all at one time. And my dad had pancreatic cancer. So as you know, it's very aggressive and it spread very quickly. So my dad had about 9.5 months from the time he was diagnosed till he passed. And I guess that's when you could say I was a caregiver for part of the time. He at the time was living out of state, and so he came here and was staying here, and you know, we were keeping him company, keeping his spirits up. You know, I was feeding him, making sure he's comfortable.
I think a lot of people like you and I were talking about earlier, when it comes to caregiving, you know, it's not just like your Odette, his wife. Yeah, she's there with him 24 hours a day, but it's the support that he receives away from home. And when he does come to visit, and you and I were kind of talking about that a little bit, like, am I really a caregiver because I'm not that person that is there all the time?
Yeah, because I think, you know, a lot of people, when you first think of a caregiver, you think of either a nurse or someone like a nurse
Mhm.
who, you know, constant care,
Mhm.
you know, does all the hard work. But yeah, I think caregiving can have a lot of different definitions.
Mm.
You know, obviously there's a lot of people that do that for their family members, but then there's just, like I said, just helping out, just being there, emotionally, physically, you know, both of those.
Yeah.
You know, to a day where there is no more cancer, you know, fight for the cure. I mean, that's truly, I know everybody said that, we say that every year, but it's so true.
That's what we're doing.
You, you know, you just imagine it, you know, if there was a cure for cancer and cancer was no big deal anymore, I mean, that would be so awesome.
It would be. It would be.
And I mean, you know, because you're a survivor.
Yeah,
Not when we started, but now you are.
Yeah, it was 2018 when I found a little spot on my ankle, of all places. So then I had an appointment with my doctor, and she looked at it, and she's like, you know, I don't really like the look of it. Why don't we just go ahead and freeze it off and see what happens? And I said, okay. Yeah, that was lovely. So she froze it off, and I went back and saw her in about 2 months, and it had gone from the size of an eraser from a pencil to probably a quarter in 2 months. And we realized then and there that this was not just something. It had to be some kind of skin cancer. Did a biopsy, and it came back basal cell carcinoma, which after reading everything, I was like, oh, okay, well, this at least is like the mildest version, I guess, of cancer, you can say. And so about 2 months later, after I had my biopsy, I went back and saw her again, and now it was a size of a $50. And she was like, we cannot wait any longer. You need to go see a surgeon and have this removed. And I thought, oh, great. And it was like this big on the front of my ankle. And I thought, how are they going to cut that out of my ankle? And now my scar is not that much. And so when you and I are talking about survivor, I have a very hard time calling myself a survivor because of survivor. Like we were talking about it, everybody puts survivor in one lump sum. But my thinking of a survivor like yours is that somebody that's battling, that's, you know, has done it time and time again, or is just, mine was easy. I mean, I hate to say that but it really was. It could have been so much more worse. And so that's why it's hard for me. My mom is a survivor. It's just hard for me. And I think you were talking about, it would be interesting if we had different degrees of survivorship, you know, that I didn't have to be called a survivor, but if there was another word that,
right,
it almost makes me feel guilty, you know, it's like,
right. But like you said, it's hard to say I'm a survivor when you said that you didn't really ever feel like your life was in danger, like that cancer was going to take your life.
Right.
Whereas there's so many other people out there that are battling for their
100%.
life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard to have the same word to describe both people.
Yeah.
Because their experiences are so different.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I've just called myself a champion for cancer research. You know, we're just going to keep doing it until we can't do it anymore.
I light a candle, a brightly shining flame, for all the ones who've gone before, remembering each by name. I light a candle for those who live today, who suffer with uncertainty, praying one day for a change. I light a candle for those who are still yet to come, that they will never face the pain when the battle has been won. I light a candle for victories today, for survivors who have fought the fight we celebrate today. I light a candle that every child will have the chance to ride a bike, learn how to swim, walk barefoot in the grass. I light a candle that one day we shall light no more, and offer up the simple prayer, praying one day for a cure. Now is when you will have an opportunity to light a candle or use a glow stick to honor or remember those you relate for. Our mothers and fathers gave us the gift of life and have filled us with hope from the time of our first breath. If you are honoring or remembering a mother or a father, you may light your candle now. Our brothers and sisters are our best friends. We dream together, laugh together, cry together, and share in each other's hopes and aspirations. If you are honoring or remembering a brother or a sister, you may light your candle now. Our husbands and our wives know us better than anyone else. They share in our hopes for the future and support us in all that we do. If you are honoring or remembering a husband or a wife, you may light your candle now. Our sons and daughters give our lives new meaning. They embody our spirit, our hopes, and our dreams. If you are honoring or remembering a son or a daughter, you may light your candle now. Our grandmothers and grandfathers inspire us with their stories of the past. They spoil us, love us, and hope the very best for us always. If you are honoring or remembering a grandfather or a grandmother, you may light your candle now. Our aunts and uncles, cousins, and other relatives fill our lives with fun and give us a true sense of what it means to be a family. If you are honoring or remembering an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, or another family member, you may light your candle now. Our friends are treasures that can never be replaced. They've helped us become the people we are today, and they never lose the hope and faith they have in us. If you are honoring or remembering a friend, you may light your candle now. At this time, if you haven't lit your candle, please light it now to honor or remember all others that have fought the battle against cancer. We have all been touched by cancer, every child, every parent, every grandparent, every friend. To those we honor and remember, these candles represent the love we have for you. They burn for others to see, but they burn brightest in each of our hearts. Please join us in a moment of silence. Now we will be showing a clip of our drive-thru Luminaria event that we had this past weekend. Bye.